She could blame us in the sidewalks here.
I wanted to bring your son down, but they have to.
Good morning.
I have a chair. Why not?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Burnett County. There we go. I'll start again. Good morning, everyone. I'm Burnett County Judge Brian Wilson. I now call our Burnett County Commissioners Court meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, January 27th, 2026. The time is now 9 o'clock. We are meeting on this at 220 South Pierce, Burnett, Texas, on the second floor courtroom. I call agenda item number 2, invocation and pledges. We'll begin the prayer with Joe Don. Is he not here yet? Oh. Okay. I'll go ahead and lead the prayer this morning. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for leading us and guiding us with all wisdom and truth. Thank you for giving us the wisdom to manage the affairs of this Burnett County and stand before you in receiving your grace and your forgiveness of sin. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Now that you've done that, Glenn's here.
Oh, okay.
Hi, sorry.
That's okay.
A little bit of an interesting drive coming in, ain't you?
All right. Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Let's do it again. We'll get two.
All right, we'll get 2 prayers.
We need double blessing, that's for sure.
Okay, let's pray. Mighty God, we thank you for that moisture outside, but we would have preferred not to have all the drama. But we give you thanks nonetheless. We thank you for these saints who come and serve us in terrible weather, who come to the courthouse regardless of what's going on, because they love the county, because they love its citizens, because they love you. We pray, oh God, that you will be with this proceeding today. May the wisdom that you provide guide every decision, every thought, everything that they do, everything that they say. Bless this time, oh God, and bless these servants. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And for the record, that's Pastor Ellen Ely of First Methodist Church in Marble Falls.
Yes.
Your doctor is
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
And thank you, Pastor Ely. Sorry to steal your thunder, but you did great. So, I call agenda item number 3, public comments pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.007 and the Burnett County Commissioners Court Rules of Decorum. Any person may make a comment on an item not appearing on the agenda. Any comment will not be deliberated on by the Commissioners Court during this public comment agenda item. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Does anyone wish to make a public comment about an item that is not on the agenda?
County Judge, Commissioners, according to the state's, my name is Gene Broadway. I'm Commissioner, newly appointed ESD number 11. State statute and the Health Code requires that a bond be required for the Treasurer Emergency Services districts, and that bond amount is determined by the county judge. So my request is, I'm sure this county has already done that at some point in the past. I was not able to find it, so perhaps you guys can do the research within your own records to determine when it was done, what the amount is, and suggest that you, on the web page that you have for ESDs, perhaps when you add the last two ESDs to that page, you also consider adding that to avoid Public Information Act requests, people, and you having to go look it up again. So that's my comment. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, is there any other public comment about an item not on the agenda?
Jan Rose, Burnett County resident, landowner, and I'm sorry, I don't have the agenda, so I'm not sure if this is on. 765, I've been before the court before, and I'm just here to encourage you to be an intervener when you have the opportunity, when this docket drops, and also to consider the Council of Government 391 opportunity that the county has. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments for items not on the agenda? Okay, I close public comment. I call agenda item number 4, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding selecting a contract attorney for the Burnett County Commissioners Court General Counsel. So, Commissioners, what we did is once our General Counsel, Mr. Levitt, submitted his resignation effective as soon as we can find a replacement or come up with an alternative. I posted the job description as we had it written and as it was originally crafted. The issue was that after several weeks, we had one application and then that application was withdrawn. So then I reached out to several law firms that specialize in county government, and I wanted to, I interviewed 2 of them over the phone, but I need some guidance on how to proceed if we're going to either, we'll have to set it for another agenda item where we either switch over to a contract attorney, or if we need to go ahead and raise the wages significantly for the position, if we're going to try to hire a part-time or full-time position, either change the job description. We don't have a posting to commit today, but I can either call a special meeting or we can set it for next Commissioners Court about how we should move forward. Do you have any input?
I guess my question would be, Randy, do you mind sharing your opinion about the fact, do we need a full-time one or do we need a part-time one? And the way we're headed, what do you think?
Commissioner, I think you could get by with a part-time one, but I think you'd need to have full part-time, at least a half-time, probably 80 hours a month, as opposed to what I was working, which was supposed to be 20 hours a month, but it turned into a lot more than that. But I think you could, in my personal opinion, you could get by with somebody working probably 80 hours a month. But I don't think you can get them for the salary that I was working for.
Well, we appreciate you.
It worked out for me.
Okay.
Eddie?
The only thing I'm going to say is that I'll stand behind the county, and if there's an absence with Mr. Levitt leaving, I'll definitely step in and make sure that county business gets handled.
Can somebody open it? Thank you. Yeah.
But I think that there's a lot of decisions have to be made about exactly how you want this to proceed. It's like Mr. Levitt was saying, it turns out that you're going to need more hours than what you were working with him on. Maybe not necessarily full-time, but definitely more hours, and in consideration, you're probably going to have to rethink about what the cost is going to be.
Okay. So, so this position, as it was posted, was much lower than most of our other attorney positions in the DA's, county attorneys, and public defenders' offices. So, like I said, we don't I have to take a specific action, but if you give me some direction, then I can set it for another agenda item and either bring the salary more in line with the commensurate to what we have other attorneys being paid. Any other comments, input?
I would just, I guess, recommend talking to Eddie and seeing if maybe we could go back to the way that it was, if that's even an option.
Discuss those things.
Yeah, I can talk about it at least.
Okay. Can somebody, we had that door propped open with a little thing. There's somebody else trying to get in. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, any further comment, Commissioners? Oh, is anyone here for a family hearing?
Today at 9? Okay, perfect.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, there was a hearing scheduled this morning that was supposed to be rescheduled, that got rescheduled for noon via Zoom. So I want to make sure that everybody here is for Commissioners Court. Okay. No further comments? All right. I call agenda item number 5. We're going to go into executive session, discussion with Burnett County Commissioners Court and the county civil attorney and/or the county attorney in accordance with Texas Government Code 551.071, consultation with attorney. The discussion, confidential matters, attorney-client legal matters, anticipated litigation, and other legal matters pertaining to the Burnett County's response to Bell County East to Big Hill 765 kilovolt transmission project, including legal analysis and applicability of Chapter 391 Local Government Code. The time is now 9:12. We estimate that this executive session will be about, do we know, 30 minutes? Okay, about an hour, okay. So it'd be about 1 hour. Our contract counsel, Margaret Ewing Pemberton, will join us in this meeting, as well as the general counsel and the county attorney's office. Anything else? Okay, we'll stand adjourned.
No, recess. We're adjourned.
I mean, I'm sorry, not adjourned. We'll stand in recess for executive session. Excuse me. Okay, the time is now 10:25. I call the meeting back to order, coming in from executive session. We went out, I call agenda item number, let's see, hold on. I'll reconvene in open session, and the time is now 10:25. I call agenda item number 7, discuss, consider, take appropriate action regarding items discussed in executive session regarding Burnett County's response to the Bell County East and Big Hill 765 kilovolt transmission project, the LCRA Encore electric lines. Generally, what we need to do is concerning well, first I'll go ahead and take public comment. Is there any public comment? Okay. I think the number one thing, people have wanted us to consider creating a 391 commission. We're not really sure. First, we have to find other governmental entities that would be willing to join us. There's certainly a risk of creating another level of government. So even though many of us heard in that public meeting that there's no downside and it's a great opportunity to fight the power lines and to create an intervener, but I'm just not sure. But first and foremost, we'll have to go out and find another governmental entity that would be willing to join us in this regard. Now, under that statute, it can only be governmental entities inside of our government, our Council on Governments, which is we call CAPCOG, Capital Area Council on Governments. We're 10 counties. Well, guess what? Llano doesn't have any power lines. That's the one to our west. And Williamson County is the only other one that has a little slight corner of the power lines going through it. So that's one issue. We could consider looking at our cities or maybe expanding what the purpose of that 391 would be beyond just the power lines. And in that case, the city of Marble Falls, city of Burnett, and Bertram might consider joining. So what I guess, I don't know that we need a motion, but I will reach out to directly with those governmental agencies, explain to them what a 391 is, see if there's some capacity for them to join us and support us in this area. Again, I'm not really fully understanding. I've been reading the law, poring over it, talking to other jurisdictions, but we just need to be careful because another level of government sometimes can backfire. There's unintended consequences to creating, because once this thing is created, it stands on its own and can only be dissolved by itself. The governing entities cannot then go back and remove or stop. Say we win the transmission or we lose. Either way, we can't do away with the 391. So there's a certain inherent risk with that, and it could end up with additional cost at a later time. The second issue that we discussed about intervener status, at this point there is nothing filed on the lines associated with Burnett County, but it was from the very beginning when we discussed hiring an attorney, was to make sure that at the least the intervening status, although we have to make that decision, the Commissioners Court has to make that decision at some time in the future once a line has been filed, or a CCN, is that what it's called? Okay. Once that notice has been provided, but at least we need, our feeling and the reason we hired counsel was, or stated reason in Commissioners Court, was to make sure that these entities followed the law. And so there's different levels of intervening. We would have to decide as a Commissioners Court at some point in the future how we would do that. And today's not the day for that. So we're not going to take a motion on intervening status, but that's something we're going to keep an eye on. Another thing we talked about that's been successful in San Saba County, that we need to look at our different groups. I know we've got the G4 Opposition Alliance, we've got the folks, I-9 corridor, I think is what it's called. We've got I-1, okay. And then there's G5, is that the other group? Anyway, but we need to look at how San Saba's begun to organize their alliances so that they can set up officially and then draw money to help start paying for experts and legal fees. With everything kind of scattered around, I think we're running a risk. So we might, as county judge, I'm going to see if I can look at getting those groups together and see how we can move forward with a better coordinated effort. And then I know recently, we've had some success with the, what is it, SafeBurnit.com with the rock crusher quarry. And so that's they've set up a 501c3 and done some formal actions that they've been able to try to intervene in that way. So I think we need to look at that. So then the other thing is I'll be looking at with some possible legislators, and then we can look at any additional elements of in the next meeting, looking at different elements of the resolution. If we're missing something from our resolution and our statutory authority, we need to keep looking at that. So that's what I have to report. Is there any public comment on those issues or on this issue?
And Beth Koontz, just some things to consider. I participated in a research focus group last week. Cannot discuss what went on or how it was conducted, but I don't think there's a problem with saying they reached out to Llano County and had quite a few people sit on the focus group. My thoughts are, because of San Saba's strong position on the mussels in the river, that Llano is afraid that the line may be shifted south and through their county. So that might be something, to talk to if you decide to go forward with the 391. And then my other question is, just because I don't know, did you post the county's resolution against these lines on the current docket that's open for public comment? I know Trucks Clear just did, and I couldn't remember if you have.
Yes, we sent it out to all the locations.
And you physically uploaded it to the...
Yes,
the
my
docket.
attorney's saying yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
To answer that question, I think it's number 3 or 4 in the docket, so you could find
It was early.
Or very early.
State your name, Margaret.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Margaret Pemberton.
Sorry.
That's okay. All right. All right. Do you advise a motion at this time? Okay. So generally you and I and the general counsel and county attorney will reach out to have further discussions with the 391 and move forward. See what the best way to go forward is.
So if we don't need a motion, I know you said it, but I just want to, reiterate a few things, but make sure I'm clear that between now and the next meeting, council and you are going to meet with other potential partners and entities, right? And then try to meet with the American Stewards of Liberty and possibly their legal counsel to get some questions answered, if we can.
Can we do that? Okay.
And then...
We'll try. I can't, the legal counsel part is
Right.
a little bit...
If you can.
Yeah, I understand. Just because of the attorney-client privilege standards in Texas, I don't know that we can do that.
And then start to prepare to do something in our next meeting if we can.
If we can, I will do so.
Okay.
Okay. No motion?
I mean, unless I need to make that a motion, but if you said you're going to do it,
I'll do it. No, I don't know how exactly I'd carry that out without, it's up to other people to answer the questions or provide
Sure.
information or whatever, so. Okay. Moving on, I'll call agenda item number 8, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the burn ban for the unincorporated area of Burnett County. Mr. Marcio.
Thanks, Margaret.
Thank you, Margaret.
Derek Marcio, Burnett County Office of Emergency Management Coordinator. How we doing this morning? So in regards to the burn ban, I've spoke with a couple of the chiefs, not to mention since we had a good solid 3 inches of rain over the county over the last week, I'd say we're in pretty good shape to lift it.
Okay.
So
81, KBDI is 81 for a low, 314 is a high, average is 219, which is really low for
It's
this
fantastic.
part of the world.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to rescind the ban.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Dockery has moved and Commissioner Collier seconded. Is there any further discussion? Is there any public comment? All those in favor say aye.
Effective when?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Immediately?
Yeah,
Yeah, let's,
effective 11 a.m.
okay.
Do we vote?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Okay. Call agenda item number 9, discuss, consider, take appropriate action to authorize the fireworks, the sale of fireworks under occupation code 2154 from midnight on February 25th through midnight on March 2nd, 2026 for Texas Independence Day. So this was indicated by the Texas Association of Counties as the only time we could do this, so wanted to see what the thoughts were on that.
So, seeing as with all this nice rain that we got, if we would have asked me last week, I would have said absolutely, let's go ahead and put this through and put that ban in place. But I doubt we're going to dry out that much in basically a month and a half, 2 months' time. But at the same time, we could be back in the situation we were back in December, November, where we were 80 degrees, low humidities, and drying out. I would say that we could probably not do the ban and be just fine. Like I said, it's really just my thoughts on it right now.
Can we legally do it without the KBDI, the point?
Well, I mean, we can do that just based on,
You can do it under 418 at the time.
we could, more than likely. That would be an option. Just ban the use of during that time period if conditions warrant.
Okay.
I thought the way that the legislation style was permissive. In other words, put it on the agenda and it passes.
I thought the statute had a KBDI requirement.
I'm not talking about, I'm just saying, we don't approve the sale of fireworks. So I believe it's the way it's, I defer to council, but
We're going to need to look at it. We can table this and take it up in the next session. We still have plenty of time before February 5th.
Okay.
It's a time limit.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head what the deadline was to have that in. I feel like we've got one more meeting in between now and then if we can get it done, but I'm not entirely sure.
Can somebody look that up?
Want to recess it?
We're going to pass on this. We'll come back to it in just a minute, okay? If y'all can take a look at it and check on the KBDI and the
Time, how far in
and the time. All right, see if we can take it up at the next meeting. Okay. I call agenda item number 10. We will suspend agenda item number 9 and come back to it in a few minutes. Set it aside. I call agenda item number 10, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding appointments for committees and boards. Resignation of Lorinda Henry from Emergency Service District Board number 11, effective immediately. Commissioner Luther?
Yes, I'll move for approval.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any public comment? It's been moved by Commissioner Luther, seconded by Commissioner Byerly. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 11, discuss, consider, to take appropriate action regarding appointments for committees and boards. Appointment of Van Neil Venstra to Emergency Service District Board number 11, whose term will expire on December 31st, 2026. And appointment of Steve Wagner to ESD Board 11, whose term will expire on December 31st, 2026.
Is that Steve or Scott?
I'm sorry, Scott.
Scott.
I didn't bring my glasses, did I?
And the spelling for Van, last name, V-E-E-N-S-T-R-A. That's a correction.
V-E-N?
V-E-E-N-S-T-R-A.
Venestra, okay.
Is it Arminson?
All right. Okay.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any public comment? It's been moved by Commissioner Luther, seconded by Commissioner Byerly, that we approve this. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 12, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action to accept the donation deed for the following: create a new right-of-way and realignment, name the new road County Road 409A, rename the old section of County Road 409A to County Road 409B, authorization for the county judge to accept and sign the deed once deed is fully executed. Commissioner Dockery.
Thank you, Judge. You all have an exhibit, an aerial exhibit in your packets today showing the new proposed roadway where it goes off 409A, services a couple of residential tracts as well as the Fowler Cemetery. And this realignment, the roadway that you see, the red line where it is truly perpendicular to Highway 71, that roadway has been completed. I was not able to obtain an aerial image that's current enough to show the new roadway, but it has been completed. It's been done to county standards. It was fully engineered when it was constructed, and so we have a donation deed that's been executed by the parties that the judge is in possession of, that we would like to accept for that section of roadway that ties into our current right-of-way, and in doing so make a much safer access point to 71 because it would be perpendicular. And then we're going to keep the old section of 409B, which is about 1,000 feet there, and rename that 409B, 409B, yes. And that's what I'm trying to accomplish.
Okay, any public comment on the issue?
There's no addresses off.
Close public comment.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
There's no addresses off of the section of 409 that we're going to rename 409B, so there's no address changes that have to be taken care of. But there will be some addresses off of that in the future, so we do have to name it. Anyway, I would move for approval of agenda item 12 in its entirety.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Dockery, seconded by Commissioner Luther. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 13, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action to accept the donation from the estate of Carol M. Parker for Burnett County Vet Rides in the amount of $10,000. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Okay, close public comment. Do I hear a motion?
Move for acceptance.
Second, and thank you.
Yes, these are the types of things that I think sometimes go overlooked. This is a huge donation to Vet Rides program that we've supported over the years financially, and sincerely appreciate the public's involvement.
Yeah, and we did see a pretty good downturn in the amount of grant funds this year, so this really is special that we've been able to get this donation at this time, especially since they did have a reduction in their grant funds. So this is really great. All right, any public comment? Okay, all those, is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Agenda item number 14, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action to approve regarding the approval for the bond of the Frank Riley Justice of the Peace Precinct 4. Ms. Stafford, do you have anything to add? It's just a standard regular performance bond.
He has a one-year bond since he was appointed,
Oh, I see.
and so it's just up for renewal.
Move for renewal.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved by Commissioner Dockery, seconded by Commissioner Collier. Any public comment? Okay, close public comment. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 15, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action concerning the final plat approval of the headwaters of the San Gabriel Phase 2, a public subdivision consisting of 26 lots on 28.56 acres located off County Road 333. Mr. Darby.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Herb Darling, Burnett County Development Services. This morning on this item, we're going to ask that it be moved to the next agenda item. We've got a few details to work out with the final plat.
So no action on 15?
Okay. All right, so rather than table it, let's I'll just reschedule it for the next meeting. And just leave it at that. That's okay. We'll just pass on this item. I call agenda item number 16, discuss and consider to take an appropriate action concerning the request for replat of lots 13, the Windermere Section 5, and Windermere Section, Lot 7A, the hill at Windermere Section 4, also known as Lot 13A, the hill at Windermere Section 5, a combination of 2 lots into one.
Yes, sir.
Precisely what it says, Judge.
Yep, lowering density, we greatly appreciate that. I'd move for approval.
Second. Commissioner Dockery has moved, Commissioner Collier is second. Any public comment? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 17, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the approval of purchase services and materials to add an alcove to the Marble Falls Library in the amount not to exceed $53,222.75. Funding would come from the TSLAC grant funding. Commissioner Byerly or... Commissioner Byerly?
Yeah, so on this is very similar to what the other libraries are doing. We approved one previously. These are funded through the grants, and from what I understand, the contractors are approved, and within the grants, they vary in exactly what's going to be completed and the specs of the project, but the grant approves and the library recommends approving A and B, Library Interiors of Texas, the 2 quotes from them. So I move to approve those.
Okay. Oh, I see. The posting was for the highest bid one, so up to, not to exceed, but the project's going to come in a lot less. Okay. I see.
Yeah, in order to meet all the requirements and get the space the way they wanted it, just like we did for the other library.
Okay.
It's a similar
I
situation.
get it. I saw the amount, and then I couldn't make it add up, but now I get it. Okay. Is there any public comment about the library modification? Agenda item number 17, closed public comment. And do I have a motion? I'm sorry, you moved, didn't you?
I did.
Okay. Commissioner Byerly, who seconded? Luther. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 18, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding acceptance of the FY26 first quarter cash fund audit. Is there any public comment on this item? Okay. I did check with the auditor about, there's a statement on here that says that something was attached and it was accidentally left off. So it says the accompanying pages describe the findings, our recommendation, and the elected official's response. Since there were no findings, it was inadvertently left on this letter. So I just wanted to make sure that anybody that was looking for additional pages like I was, there are none because there were no findings. So this is just an acceptance item. Any public comment? Okay, close public comment. Do I hear a motion to accept it?
Move for acceptance.
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Dockery has moved and Commissioner Collier accept. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 19, discuss, consider, take appropriate action, contract for services for fiber optic cabling and connectivity and other associated costs to infrastructure at 127 East Jackson building project to house the Information Technology Department in said building. Funds for this project will come from the available budgeted funds and will not exceed $1 million. Commissioner Collier.
Basically, this is, when we decided to move IT into the new building, this was a part of that process. to move IT was a little more than just moving your standard office people in there. So, and part of this is we've got to have another fiber cable ran from 127 East Jackson up to the sheriff's office to tie in with them, as well as back over to here. And Mr. Harris can probably help me on the next one. It's basically getting fiber to make that's the heartbeat of the county, so we've got to get connectivity over to that building.
This fiber reroute would have had to have been done
Irregardless.
moving it anywhere else too, wouldn't it?
Yes.
To have a good backbone?
Correct. So, good morning, Commissioners, Judge. In 2023, there was a analysis done on the Burnett County network by Sequel. That was something that was passed through this court. We found in that analysis there were problems found with our current network infrastructure, our security apparatus, and our connectivity. A weekend, I started on a project for switch, to do the switch refresh, but was one of those things that was contingent, and we were able to complete that particular project. In the midst of all of this, we were granted access to 127 East Jackson Street as a new home for the technology department. In that move, you also have connectivity that needs to happen, all of the different requests from the county representative to have improvements. We have submitted those things that need to also happen, which are dependencies, and this is one of them. So in these dependencies, we have storage, we have new firewalls, we need new fiber. When we started this process, we found that the fiber from here to 127 to the auditor's office was damaged. It was also old fiber. It was a multi-strand fiber, which is outdated. So we, in our building meeting, determined that that needed to be replaced. In trying to do such, we had ComServe come out, and we found that it was a direct burial, and that fiber we could not recover. We couldn't use a passageway to get from here to there. And because of the uprooting of the streets and things of that nature that would have to happen, it was determined that a better path would be aerial. And because it costs more money to have them come back, understanding that we needed to get to the sheriff's office, we've also submitted that we continue along this path so that we can have failover connectivity to the sheriff's office. In doing such, it also gives us a path to all the other buildings that are owned by the county in which we're paying ISP service amount that we can eliminate here in the near future. That would be the Ag Life, the Public Defenders, North Annex, and on anything along that path. So we are looking to provide that strategic approach so that we can start realizing some of the funds that we're spending with the many ISPs and on our own fiber for the county. I do have, just for reference, we do have some of the vendors who've been working with us here. I appreciate them for coming. We have the COO of Sequel, and we have the president of ComServe who have been working on this project. So, I'm sorry, Greg Harris, Technology, the Director of Technology and Cybersecurity. I apologize.
This is budgeted?
No, it's not budgeted. It would require, it would take away from our buildings and the courthouse and the new office park that we were trying to look at, so, for establishing.
We have it in a budget item for buildings.
It's not allocated to something else?
It is allocated to buildings, 720, Fund 720, which we have the courthouse that's leaking and crumbling, and then we also have the office park that we had voted on to begin establishing so that the tax assessor and other offices. So, do your vendors want to tell us anything before?
If you have a question, they're available, yes.
Okay, well, do you, so, who's from Sequel? So, can you come state your name?
Jonathan Clifton, I'm the COO of SQL Data Systems.
Okay, and you conducted the analysis about two and a half years ago, is that right?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And so did you identify these specific lines as being required for, or this project that we're voting on today, considering, did you actually do an analysis that these were the lines that we needed to implement, or did you just mostly focus, because I've read the report and I don't see any lines identified. Is your testimony that the lines that are being proposed today are specifically what you recommended?
I believe the report was specifically around all the networking hardware, but I do believe that was identified when we were out doing some of the work.
You identified these specific lines?
Yeah, there are some specific items identified as to problems that we were having with bandwidth, dropping of packages, APs within the county, and it was all dealing with connectivity, which is how we connect with fiber and switches and routers.
I understand, but I could only see, in that whole report, I could only see one sentence about cabling. And are you saying that there was more in the report that I missed about which lines and how connectivity ought to take place?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Once again, they identify connectivity issues, not particularly to 127 East Jackson Street, as it was not in play at the time. And since we have gone to use that as a home for the technology department, these things have been identified by myself and vendors. ComService here is also who can identify that these lines are not available. They are old and they are damaged.
Okay. So again, I just want to make sure for the record that the report, the SQL report that we based, we configured all of our switches and the upgrades that we just went through were not about the transmission or about the connectivity, other than the line that says that the lines would have to be improved to get full benefit. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. And then who else do you have here today?
This is Bernard Newton.
Hi, state your name for the record and the...
Good morning. My name is Bernard Newton. I'm with ComServe Pros.
Okay.
So I was called out to identify the existing communications pathways from the courthouse to your new location. After our investigation, we identified that it was direct buried, and so we could not repair that without digging up the street. And so I got with Greg Karen to identify a different pathway, because digging up the street would be very costly for everyone. So we went aerial on the poles that are already existing, and I brought up to say that if we go aerial, we might as well go in a route in a manner that will facilitate the county in the future, and as well as accommodate the needs that you have today.
Do you already have lines here in the city that you're relying upon, that you'll be paralleling, or are you using existing poles? What's the structure like?
The power pole, the existing power poles.
Okay, so that they're using the city's power poles?
That's correct.
Okay, and then can you lay out what are the three lines again? Where will they run?
So the ring would start from the data center, and it would come around. I don't have the streets that it would go on, but it would come around to feed this building. And along the route, we would break off and go to the sheriff's department.
Okay.
And then with that infrastructure in place, we would have the capability to feed additional city buildings or county buildings in the future, so you could remove that cost every month by going on your own fiber.
So going to the sheriff's office, this would allow us to possibly get to the North Annex and maintenance, and if ISF is one of ours, but.
That's accurate, and it would also solidify our redundant and failover for the county, right? Because that is our second place of service, which is the sheriff department.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. So, Mr. Harris, so the priority for at least the next 30 days in the meetings that you've been attending is focusing on trying to get just the building finished, because we're already quite a bit overrun with the cost of the building. Do you, is there any reason that this has to be done now, today, at this time?
Yes, sir, and I do want to correct, in our meetings for the building, these two connectivities for ISP and the fiber for that building was also discussed, and we decided that it was a necessity. The necessity brought about going out for getting understanding of what the service currently is. We found that it was damaged, and this was the proposed outcome of trying to rectify that issue. Without connectivity to the building, there's really no way the technology can be up and going and service the rest of the county.
So a few weeks ago, didn't we approve a local provider to put the internet service into the building?
In September, we approved that Spectrum would be our ISP going into the building.
Okay. And this is above that, is that correct?
This is not above, but different. This is the connectivity to the rest of the county with the fiber that will connect to 127.
Okay, so what happens if between now and the when our contracts are all over with the building itself, if you were to rely on the internet provider and not have this additional cabling? Of course, you're not going to have it right away anyway, but so if you were to move in today, would the Spectrum line not be enough to keep the servers operational?
No, sir.
No servers available only on the Spectrum line?
We would not have the bandwidth to support.
I understand bandwidth, but I'm just saying, would there be no servers operating if we had just the Spectrum? I'm just asking a yes or no. Is if you were to turn on the line on the 28th of February, assuming we're going to be finished with the building, and you have Spectrum, will you be able to connect the servers to the existing infrastructure that we have?
And that's what I'm trying to answer. Because of the newness of the technology that we have accumulated for storage and things of that nature, we would not be able to service the county. We would not.
So the whole county system is going to shut down on the Spectrum line?
The technology that we have purchased would not be able to be brought into production unless we have our own fiber connecting and replace this fiber that we have between courthouse and the auditor's office.
So I just want to make sure what you're saying is that the computers system in the county will not work if we don't have additional this specific line. So off of Spectrum alone, we cannot operate. All computers will shut down, and there'll be no operations of the computer operations.
I want to be really clear, because you're using the term computers, and we're not talking about laptops and desktops. We're talking about technology within the data center would not be operational.
Okay. And what does that mean?
That means that moving forward, we're still vulnerable from a security perspective. We cannot implement cybersecurity. We cannot continue to work toward connecting every laptop to a domain. We can't move forward with migrations, and we do not have storage, which makes us vulnerable to any attack and hostage to our data.
So did you hire any outside professionals specifically to look at this this structure and document specifically what you're saying here today?
They have come to the mic. So CommServe is an expert in fiber and connectivity. So yes, we have brought them in to accomplish a task. And in trying to accomplish that task, we found problems. And this is why this is being brought forward.
Okay, so we spent I think over $100,000 on the SQL analysis. They didn't identify any specific lines or specific operations?
They identified that there were connectivity issues, but 127 East Jackson was not a part of this because this just became into play after the budget cycle.
Commissioners, you really don't have any questions, honest to God?
Might have been answered, so.
Okay. Would you like to ask them so the rest of us could hear
Well,
what's happening?
I'm just dealing with Greg, we have connectivity issues.
Okay.
I was in that fiber business for 25 years,
Okay.
so I understand it. Now, if anybody else has any questions, would be open to hear them.
So the only thing, if we don't get this done, then the rest of the county will operate, but it'll just be like piecemeal, like it is now with Independent. There won't be connectivity and you won't have as much security control. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct.
So this helps bring us up for security protocols and gets everybody within the same system and not have the individual buildings all kind of separate? Is that a way to say that?
That's correct, but all the way down to the individual devices, we will then implement, once we have proper connectivity, all of the security mechanism that would allow us to prevent and lock down the laptops for county use and county use only.
So we're heading in a direction of having the data center at 127 East Jackson, which, once these all connect, will be where storage and all those things will happen.
That's correct.
And this will make that connectivity possible.
That's correct, and because of a technology called replication, it's imperative that we have connectivity from those devices to ensure that if we lose at one site, the other site is operational and it keeps us from being down as a county and we're operational.
Redundancy.
So it comes with redundancy?
Yes, sir.
For protection?
Yes, sir.
Right now, what is our backup?
We don't have any.
So is there any incremental, are there any incremental options in front of the school?
No, sir.
So there's not one thing we can do as to do part of this and keep it operational until a full analysis can be done?
The analysis has been done.
Where is it? I just see all I see is a list of, as a matter of fact, this stuff in the black actually has text in it, but we could not, for the life of us, figure out how to make that show. And so this list that's in our book today is a list that you put together, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and where's the analysis that goes with this?
The analysis is that in order for the things that were presented to us in 2023 analysis to ensure that those things happen, and for the current technology that we've already purchased to work, those things have to happen. We were not asked for any report. We were asked for line items of what we would be spending the funds on.
Okay. Can I call, I'm sorry, what's your name again from Sequel? Jonathan?
Yes, sir.
Could you come back to the mic, please?
Yes.
Sequel, we spent a lot of money with Sequel, didn't we, to do a full analysis of our technology needs. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
And Jason Booker and some of the other folks worked on us to launch this?
Yes, sir.
And was this actually, other than that one sentence, did you look at this list that's in the Commissioner's Court? You may not even know what it is. I don't know if you do or not. So
I was not able to read the list specifically to that, but I'm familiar with our report.
All right. And so the analysis, the report that y'all provided this Commissioner's Court in the county did not do any sort of analysis beyond that one sentence that I can find that we needed to, that some of our switch project would be dependent on. So this, you haven't done an analysis of our technology needs and interconnection. Is that correct?
Well, we reviewed all of the switching infrastructure and firewall infrastructure that you had and made recommendations on what needed to happen moving forward.
Which we've done.
Yes, sir.
And then in addition, we actually, this Commissioner's Court bought the rest. That was just part of what you were doing the analysis. And we bought all the rest of the switches and firewalls. Not all the firewalls. I think we have 2 more firewalls to go. but the connectivity, you didn't do an analysis on.
No, I
Is
believe
that-
our report focused primarily on the equipment.
And do you do analysis of connectivity?
At kind of a high level, but we don't do cabling and that type of infrastructure.
Or the needs of the cable? You just identify whether it needs to be improved, but...
Correct.
Okay.
Which you identified the need for improvement in the report?
Yes, sir.
But not the details? You didn't provide which specific lines needed to be added to this system?
No, sir, I don't believe that was included specifically in our report.
Okay.
No, so the gap here is not what they did, it is what has been discovered. And as a professional with over 30 years of experience, my ability to work with SQL and other vendors to identify a way forward to remove the gap that we currently have. That gap stems from a decision to move technology department into 127 East Jackson Street. That also, I do my due diligence, although we respect the work that SQL did, my experience allows me to do the same detailed analysis to understand how do we get from point A to point B. And this is how we get from point A to point B.
So are you telling me, Mr. Harris, that you provided a list of needs without any analysis or explanation or documentation about how this works? Is that, with your 30 years experience, this is the norm for you to provide a list of things and not analysis or explanation?
The norm is to not provide any threats to our cyber security posture or our security posture with providing in detailed analysis of what we're going to do, right? We are, the analysis that you're requesting is, Mr. Bernard has identified that there's a damaged fiber. The only way for us to remove that damaged fiber is to go aerial without causing a disruption of services in the street of Burnett County. And that's something that we went through in our building meetings, and it was decided that this was the best approach. So I'm not sure what analysis, other you want someone to dig up the cable to show that it's damaged, or the connectivity is connectivity. There's no analysis needed on connectivity other than these things don't work. And how do we get them to work? So I like to answer the question specifically, but I'm not sure I'm understanding.
The analysis should come from my experience, Greg's experience, and Mr. Newton's experience. All combined, you're looking at almost 100 years of fiber connectivity experience. So I would take that analysis as
Is that a motion?
well, yeah, I'll make a motion, but I would take that analysis just about above anybody. How much more professional analysis do you need?
I would like something in writing other than a wish list that for the public's, we hire engineers for doing roads. We hire any large expenditure from this county. We even this courthouse, as we see the cracks, we see the leaks, but we still hire professionals to make sure that we have the right responsibility.
I think you have the professionals right here with the...
Well, but there's no analysis. This is just a list of things we want to buy.
And it's going to continue...
This is not how we do anything else in this county.
Well, and it's going to continue. We're going to need more fiber connectivity as we move forward as well.
And that's even more reason why we ought to have a full analysis conducted by a professional outside. We've hired SQL to provide an analysis. Mr. Harris, are you aware that state law allows for commissioners' courts to meet with you in the executive session on cybersecurity issues? Are you aware of that?
I am.
Okay. All right. So that anything that you write or anything we wrote could be provided in confidence under an executive session standing, correct?
I'm aware of the law, but none of this has been requested. We have documentation of our entire infrastructure. So that documentation is kept for security purposes outside of public.
And it could be brought for an executive session. In other words, that you could provide that information, could you?
Yeah, but it wouldn't, I don't see I'm happy to provide it, but I'm not sure I see the benefit of, if we don't have the experts on the bench, then what exactly we would be accomplishing.
Interesting. Okay. Fellow behind you.
Excuse me, the analysis that you're requesting, we can provide you that analysis. We can get you a third or fourth party to provide you with that analysis. That analysis is going to be very costly in the round of the $80,000 range. If we could take that cost for your analysis and apply it to your project, but if you want us to provide that analysis, we definitely can.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So when the new building or not, this cabling needed to be, some of this cabling needed to be replaced anyway, which got discovered during the project, right?
That's correct.
I'm not sure I'd want to spend any more money on an analysis of something that we already know. I see governments and entities doing that all the time. They pay a lot of money for somebody who's smarter than them to tell them to do it. I don't know that we need to spend that kind of money.
He just said he'd take it off the cost of the implementation, so that's what the testimony he just provided.
Or we could use that same 80 to 100 grand that it was going to cost us to do an analysis and put that towards this project or future projects.
Well, this is just not how we, as a commissioners court, have been doing things. We get outside help, like we got Sequel because we knew we had a problem with switches and firewalls. We hired the professionals. They identified specifically what had to be done. We do roads. You even engineered your roads a while back. We've hired architects. We understand it adds cost, but the reliance on making sure that we can know that we're spending the taxpayers' dollars, $1 million with no other, just a simple list that you can't, much of the test can't even be read, and we're going to spend $1 million, take away from our taxpayers with no planning and no outside intervention or assistance. It's beyond the pale. So I'll take a motion. Go ahead.
Just the cable between 127 and the sheriff's office. It breaks, we've got a break in it or a fault. But if it breaks, then what?
Well, generally, we have, when we decide who we're going with as a vendor, there is a warranty aspect of, and a maintenance aspect of that service. So if something happens, then we would call that vendor, just like we would do a Vibe or a Frontier, say we have a problem, and they would come out and service that line.
Since we are going aerial, we've had issues before with breaks in the line or some severed issues based upon squirrels or whatever it may be. This is a hardened, armored cable.
That's correct. And ComServe can give you more of the intimate details of the actual aspect of the 288 that we're looking to run, but it is indeed not a cheap part of the solution. We understand the risks of going aerial, and we also understand the cost of trying to bury it.
All right, you've got a motion.
Okay.
Commissioner Collier.
I move to approve item 20 for
19
for the fiber optic cabling connectivity and other cost of infrastructure at 127. Jackson, building to the house information to house the IT department in said building. Funds for the project will come from available budgeted funds and will not exceed $1 million.
Okay,
I'll second.
Moved by Commissioner Collier, seconded by Commissioner Byerly. Is there any public comment? Okay, I close public comment.
And these funds come from where?
The buildings.
Building fund.
The building line item.
710, I believe.
I'm going to call for a division of the House. Commissioner Luther?
Aye.
Commissioner Byerly?
Aye.
Commissioner Collier?
Aye.
Commissioner Dockery?
Aye.
And I vote nay. No. Call agenda item number 20, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action for line item transfers of budgeted funds not to exceed $1 million for services, fiber optic cabling, connectivity, and associated costs, the infrastructure for 127 East Jackson building project to House Information Technology Department in said building.
I move to approve the line item transfer.
Second?
Commissioner Collier has moved. Any public comment? Commissioner Byerly has seconded. Any further discussion? A call for division of the House.
Aye.
Commissioner Luther. Commissioner Byerly.
Aye.
Commissioner Collier.
Aye.
Commissioner Dockery.
Aye.
I vote no. I call agenda item number 21, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding invoices without POs or contracts as required in Local Government Code 113-901.
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Byerly has moved. Commissioner Collier second. Any public comment? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say motion passes. I call agenda item number 22, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding budget interline item transfers. See one from the Sheriff's Office and one from the
P2.
okay, and the Commissioner 2.
Move for approval, 22.
Second.
Commissioner Dockery has moved. Commissioner Collier has seconded. Any public comment? Close public comment. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 23, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action for the authorization of payments of claims previously approved by the county auditor.
Move to approve.
Commissioner
Second.
Collier has moved. Commissioner Dockery has seconded. Any further is there any public comment? Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 24, discuss and take appropriate action regarding the FY26 budget amendments, created expense line for the MITI donation funds in FY26 budget in the amount of $72,600. And this was a donation that we got.
It was a donation.
Yeah, a few weeks ago or a few months ago that we did set up a line item. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Byerly, seconded by Commissioner Luther. Any public comment? Okay. All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Okay, I call agenda item number 25, discuss and consider to take appropriate action regarding contracts, agreements, and grants to be approved and or ratified. Approve, sign, and execute all necessary documents for the grant 5409501 for the state and local cybersecurity program in the amount of $10,000 with a match requirement from Burnett County in an amount not to exceed $2,500. Approve, sign, and execute all necessary documents to apply for the Rural Ambulance Service Grant Program HB 3000 in the amount not to exceed $350,000. Approve, sign, and execute all necessary documents to sponsor the Kingsland Aqua Boom in an amount not to exceed $2,000. Is that right? I thought the document said another amount. Can you find that real quick? What is that?
25C. $2,000?
Yes, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about that. $2,000, approve, sign, and execute all necessary documents and action to sponsor Music on Main Spring Series in the amount not to exceed $500. Approve, sign, and execute all necessary documents and actions to enter into an operating agreement with the Western Regional Radio System Agreement. Approve, sign, and execute all necessary documents and actions to enter into the grant agreement and authorize representation resolution for the Texas Water Development Board regarding installation of an outdoor siren system. Approve, sign, and execute all necessary documents and actions to enter into a Motorola Solutions service agreement in an amount not to exceed $57,767.28. Approve, sign, and execute all necessary documents and actions to accept the FY27 Women Victims Advocate Grant in the amount of $58,647 with a match requirement from Burnett County in the amount not to exceed $25,136. And approve, sign, and execute all necessary documents and actions to accept the FY26 Cyber Workforce Development Grant in the amount of $10,601.50 with a match requirement from Burnett County in an amount not to exceed $53,001. Is there any public comment on this issue? And I do have a question on the Music on Main in Marble Falls. That is to, it seems to be to that D seems to be to a private company. Is that instead of a, I mean, normally I thought we've been doing like 501c3s or not, we call it chambers, things like that. Is that, and maybe it's a legal counsel question, can the hot funds be given to what appears to be a private corporation? Or do you know anything about that?
I've never accepted direct funds, I'll say that.
No.
Just
I'm just, so it's D on the agenda. It seems like the grant is OOS Holdings LLC is the Music on Main is the organization.
That's the promoter of that event.
Oh, is that what that means? Anyway.
He's the producer of the event. And okay. I will say, I don't know a lot about that series, but they do it pretty consistently.
I think it's a chamber deal or something
EDC
like that?
sponsors it.
Oh, okay.
I know that.
All right, that's all.
I'm pretty sure he gets sponsorships from all the entities in Marble Falls.
Okay, that's fine. The other thing I want to, before we take a motion or public comment, is I do want to say on B that House Bill 3000, that's giving rural counties $350,000. What we've agreed tentatively is that there's a 2-year, there's a biennial grant, so it's $350,000 each year. We're going to, the Burnett is going to take the first year, and hopefully the funding is already there for the second year to be the Marble Falls EMS. So let you know. The $57,000 for the Motorola agreement is 2023 through all of 25. Is that right, Derek?
Fiscal year 24 and 25.
Fiscal year 24 and 25. So apparently we went back and realized that we had not paid for our agreement back when we were supposed to. And so this is to catch us up, because in the new contract that is also with the Western Regional
radio system.
Radio towers is we're bringing TxDOT into that partnership under the 791 agreement, and they will begin paying for all as about $250,000 per tower for our Western Towers software agreement. So, but to do that, we had to get caught up with our past Motorola accounts. So, any public comment on these issues? Okay, I'll close public comment. Do I hear a motion? In its entirety?
In its entirety.
Okay. Commissioner Luther has moved to accept all these offers and authorize them in its entirety. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Commissioner Collier seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 26, discuss and consider take appropriate action regarding the following grants for the FY27 state and local cybersecurity grant program project with the Office of Government with a match requirement of 30%. adopt the resolution to apply for cybersecurity evaluation project, adopt the resolution and apply for cybersecurity governance and planning project, adopt a resolution for the cybersecurity mitigation project, and adopt a resolution to apply for the cybersecurity workforce development project. Now, these are FY27 grants, and I will say that the only, Mr. Counsel, the only thing I have concern about is the resolutions actually state that we commit to providing the resolution, the match, but it's FY27 match was what's being asked, and I just wasn't sure if that's...
We don't know what the match is going to be.
No, because until we have to pass, the way the governor's office has it, this is why I postponed it a few weeks ago, was the governor's office has said we can't open the system until we have the resolution uploaded. It's the resolution, but I guess seems kind of backwards, but I don't know how else we can apply for the grants. So, all right.
The way I understood it is we had to adopt the resolutions before we could even click to see what they were about.
And that's, I went online to confirm that. But then today, or last night, I was reading this thing, and it says, we promised to provide the match. Well, we can't promise to provide so I guess we're going to have to just do their form, and then I guess if we get the grant and we can't afford the match.
Still have to accept the grant.
Yeah, we still, and that's what I've learned or was understanding is that, we necessarily don't have to accept it.
But
once
you remember we had this on the agenda 2
Yeah.
weeks ago, and I went.
I
asked you to wait on it, and then I went into the system and I literally logged in and tried to apply or to see what they were.
Exactly.
It says you have to upload the resolution.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Dockery, seconded. Any public comment? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 27, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action to adopt a resolution to apply for the FY27 body-worn camera grant program with a match requirement of 25%. And again, this is the same kind of thing. So we'll just have to adopt the resolution to open the grant up to the sheriff's office. So,
move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Dockery has moved. Commissioner Collier has seconded. Any public comment? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 28, discuss, consider, take appropriate action concerning calling for bids and bid openings, request for proposal qualification, authorization to go out for bid on the installation of a boat dock. We went out for that in the summer. Of course, then the flood hit, and then all the dock people were busy building up new docks and other docks, so we got 0 responses. So we think we're going to try again when it's slowed down a little bit now. Is that right?
Requested to go out for bids again, so I move for approval.
Okay, Commissioner Luther has moved. Commissioner Barley has seconded. Any public comment? Close public comment. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Call agenda item number 29, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding responses received for the Burnett County Jail fire alarm system upgrade, not to exceed amount $325,000. This was partly due because the sheriff did such a great job of cutting cost on the attorney visitation room, so that we had some extra room to buy a new fire panel to get everybody out of there if we have to, right, Chief? So it's good job. So this would be a combination of tax notes where we had some savings on two different items that had been previously authorized for the jail.
I'll move for approval.
Okay. Commissioner Byerly has moved. Commissioner Luther has seconded. Any public comment? Okay. All right. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 30, discuss and consider and take appropriate action regarding the response received for bid 265120-02, Burnett County skylight replacement and roof replacement in an amount not to exceed $219,000. Is there any public comment on this issue? Okay, close public comment. This is an item where, if you remember, we've gone out to bid 2 or 3 times for this item. We actually hired an architect, the architect that was doing the attorney-client visitation room that defined the specifications, and we came back with a bid much lower because we were anticipating spending about $350,000, I think is what was budgeted for this project. That's why we were able to buy fire alarms. So anyway, this was a time well spent where we went out and got professional help and ended up getting exactly what we needed at a much lower price. So do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Byerly has moved. Second?
Second.
Commissioner Luther has seconded. All those in, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Motion passes. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Okay, I'll give the noes a chance.
Give the noes a chance.
All right. Sorry. I'm almost to the last one.
You're
Come
there.
on. I call agenda item number 31, acknowledgement of receipts. I'll let you read those yourself. Okay, this is no action for this item. Any public comment? Close public comment. Agenda item number 32, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding Commissioner Court's modifying regularly scheduled meetings. Any need to reschedule any meetings?
I think so.
Okay.
We've got 9 to go back.
Number 9.
Oh, yeah, thank you. All right.
And Judge, the 3 lawyers have put our heads together in consultation with Eric.
Let me go ahead and call it back, please. Discuss, consider, and take appropriate action to authorize the sale of fireworks under Occupations Code 2154 from midnight on February 25th through midnight on March 2nd for Texas Independence Day. Yes, sir.
It looks like, Judge, is that we have until February the 15th to vote on this. We're going to wait and see what drought conditions are. We'll have a meeting on February the 10th. You can table it and do it then. Or you can authorize the sale of them if we're in drought conditions on February the 10th, and you can move to restrict the sale of fireworks during that time period, or for particular locations where fireworks may be sold and or used or displayed. The bottom line is we have until February the 10th to see what conditions are at that time. If you want to wait until then, or you can vote on it today.
Mr. Marcio, you want to just let us pass on this item until the 10th of February?
I'm fine with that, sir.
Okay. All right, we'll pass on this item.
One thing I might add, Judge, I didn't see an order in the book, in the book that's on the agenda, so we need to make sure we have an order available on the 10th.
Thank you. Okay, I already called number 32. Number 33, is there any calendar review that needs to be brought out? Okay. Call agenda item number 34, adjournment.
Move for approval.
Commissioner Byerly, Commissioner Luther, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. We are adjourned.
11:38.
11:38.